ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Florida Atlantic women's basketball season is here. Join head coach Jennifer Sullivan and star guards Maya Perry and Jada Moore at Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena this year for big-time college basketball action. Groups of 15 or more get in free. Single game tickets just $10. The band, the cheerleaders, the fun, the action, it's all there with Florida Atlantic women's basketball. Visit FAUsports.com for more information. Florida Atlantic Owls, winning in paradise.
Hi, this is Blaine Isbell, Corporate Vice President of Team IP. For over 30 years, Team IP has been a national leader in decorated apparel and promotion, including the Boca Raton Bowl. Make Team IP their partner of choice. Team IP, located right in our community in Stuart, is a proud partner of ESPN West Palm. Contact me anytime at 877-821-8643 or head to teamip.com and take the first step in making Team IP your team to boost your brand.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit signoramawpb.com.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers and communities they serve by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, PNC is always working to make it easier for their customers to achieve their goals and plan for the future, whether that's through innovative digital solutions or in person. PNC is proud to be part of the South Florida community. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you at pnc.com/tech. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Good people, it's me, Theo Dorsey, and I want to make sure you're locked in with us at Theoretically Speaking. Just hop on YouTube, search at Theo Speaking, and hit that subscribe button. You can watch us live or you can play us back at Theo Speaking on YouTube. It's free.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Y'all tried to give Josh Allen that MVP trophy early, and he already arm punted it away. Let's go, C-Cat.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Oh yeah. I hope you tapped into the YouTube stream today. I hope you tapped in on Twitter or on the YouTube stream or on Facebook live with us. The YouTube stream obviously presented by Prize Picks. It's your boy Theo Dorsey, and we are coming to you live from the desert. This is day one for me in the state of Arizona, and I have to say, South Florida might be paradise, but I absolutely love it. I'm falling in love with it. I'm in North Scottsdale kicking it. Obviously Christmas week, visiting Moms. C-Cat is on the other side of the states, on the other side of the glass, on the ones and twos in the offices in ESPN West Palm. How's paradise, dog?
Got to hold down the East Coast, man. Got to hold down. Flew down from Philly today. The hour delay flight didn't faze me whatsoever. It was nice. I had a middle seat. You know me. I'm not going to actually pay to
select. Middle seat?
I didn't select my seat. I get a randomly selected seat.
Well, you flew one of those airlines where it wasn't like a board first. It was you get to pay early to, $10, $15 to get a better seat.
A really cheap airline where if you want anything extra, you got to pay for it. So I had a middle seat. I get to my seat. Turns out it's an exit roll. Come on now.
Hey,
beautiful. And then 5 minutes go by. The guy to my right slides over to the next aisle over. Or like to the next set of seats over.
Yeah.
So I slide over. I got an aisle seat, and I got extra leg room. Oh, it was beautiful.
Cat, I criticized you too soon. Now I have some things to be very critical of you of, and we're going to do that here today on Theoretically Speaking, based on your behavior at Penn State's first ever playoff win.
My behavior?
Penn State's, your behavior. Your behavior at Penn State's first playoff victory in program history. That's right. CCAT missed last Friday because he was there in person on Saturday to watch the Nittany Lions take down SMU out of the ACC. We're going to get into a lot of college football early. Just first and foremost, did it feel historic at all?
Yeah, it felt different. You walk in the stadium and things are changed because of the 12-team playoff, like the imaging on the scoreboards and the video boards all across. It's all college football playoff. It's not your normal sponsors that you would see at a normal stadium. It certainly felt special. Yeah,
you've been to that stadium a bunch.
Oh, yeah. Season ticket holder, of course, camped out for every single game I went to with Nittanyville. So I was it was my first time back to State College since I graduated about 5 years ago now, so it felt good.
That had to, man. I'm actually happy for you. I'm glad they pulled out the win. Nittany Village?
Nittanyville, yeah.
That's weak. So y'all should workshop that. That should be your next mission.
It used to be called Paternoville.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so we'll go back to that, huh?
Well, there's worse, coaches' names there than Paterno. Anyways, you talk about the guy that was doing the things, that would be even worse. So I'm glad it wasn't that bad. But, yeah, I guess Joe Pott, his name doesn't ring the same out there at State College. But, again, all of that is in the past because right now your team is 3 wins away from a national championship. And for the very first time, right? Like we're in the 12-team playoff era. We're down to the quarterfinals. And – everybody's complaining, CCAT.
Yeah.
Everybody's complaining. Like, I'm right now where I stand. I'm in North Scottsdale, so I'm about 30 minutes away from State Farm Stadium where your Nittany Lions on Tuesday are going to be taking on Boise State. And you know what? When you have your Nittany Lion team against the Boise State squad, and that means now you're 1 win away against a group of 5 team, like, you got to be feeling good. Are you coming out here? Are you going to be pulling up? Should I be making some space for CCAT for Tuesday?
I looked at the flights this morning, and I'm not going to make it there.
Oh, this dude.
A little
Fiesta
too
Bowl,
pricey.
man.
A little too pricey,
Fiesta
and they
Bowl.
should win the game. They're favored by over 10 points last I checked. So I'll see them when they come to my neck of the woods when Penn State plays either Notre Dame or Georgia in the Orange Bowl after Penn State wipes the floor with a group of 5 team. But my feeling about this Penn State football program is kind of they haven't really proved anything yet. I mean, we knew Penn State was definitely among the 8 to 12 best teams in the country when they've been good, like maybe 4 times in the past decade. We have not really been sold that they are a top 4 team yet. They haven't really deserved a spot in the playoff quite yet in the playoff era. So there's still more to be earned. There's still more to be proved for Penn State fandom.
Now, while there might be more to be earned and proved, I think there's a lot of people like to complain, right? People like to, moan and be word about all of the different negatives that come from change in general, and that's what's happening in college football. It's holistic change when it comes to, not just a 12-team playoff, but NIL, the kind of coaches that are taking over programs. By the way, congratulations, Mike Vick. Mike Vick officially introduced as the head coach of NSU today, so that's going to be exciting. Bill Belichick to UNC. You got Coach Prime at Colorado. There is a new wave of what college football looks like, and everybody's, loving to harp on the negatives. What I can say is, though, CCAT, the positives of this thing, and we talked about it earlier today, is we know that the teams like Penn State that are ranked between, 16 and 9 every single year, they're not strong enough to actually win a college football championship. They're not that good. There's a reason why they're ranked that low, and it's because they've either played some of the top-level teams and gotten their ass kicked, or they haven't played any tough competition for good reason. So I am not tied to what the 12-team playoff can be based on whether or not these opening round games are good, because I warned y'all back when y'all wanted this 12-team playoff. That was my whole thing. I said, why the hell will we be adding more teams that are not going to be nearly as competitive as the cream of the crop in college football? And that's the results you're getting. I'm not shocked by that. It was chalk in the opening round. Everybody's mad. I'm not shocked by that at all. What I'm happy for is something that you mentioned earlier, and it's something I didn't really give enough thought or credence to. At least Tennessee and SMU and by golly, Indiana, at least they can say we actually had a chance to win the college football national championship. If we got hot, if we got lucky, if the officials, maybe got in the way a little bit, like what the Bills needed to beat the Patriots this past weekend. Maybe if we got the proper help and assistance, we actually could win a championship. You didn't, and you won't. But you were in the dance and you had a chance, and I do believe that's good for college football. That is good for the kids that, maybe want to transfer, maybe want to leave early to go to the draft, to stay and play another game in their college football uniforms. I am appreciative of that benefit from the 12-team playoff. But I told y'all from the jump, it wasn't going to be competitive, and it would only get worse. And it might look even worse, like you said, when Penn State goes up against Boise State, and they get how many weeks to prepare for Ashton Genty?
Yeah,
they had to be preparing for Boise State for the past 3 weeks.
That's a good point. They probably were. You can't really get too comfortable. They get a week and a half. They play them on New Year's Eve next week. But hey, Boise State's probably been preparing for Penn State for a long time now.
Yeah, they had to have been, and we got a message right here in the Prize Picks YouTube chat. As you can see, if you're tapping in, I am not in the studio. We're on remote. Right? I'm across the states. I'm out here in Glendale, or excuse me, not Glendale. I'm out here in North Scottsdale, and there's a basketball goal behind me. And folks is saying I can't dunk it. Like, it's a 10-foot. This is just 10 feet. I can see if it was 11 foot, then I would say, yeah, maybe I can't. That's 10 feet. I'm an athlete. I hate having to continuously prove myself, not just on this programming, but at ESPN West Palm, that I'm a natural-born athlete. And especially when I'm in shape, I can do things that you would never assume. I can dunk it. Thank you, Gamer, for jumping in there and questioning my athletic prowess. And I might just prove that in one of these breaks, so stick around. Also, we got a basketball out here, CK.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem doing that. Also, my dog Jalen says Show needs to permanently be moved to North Scottsdale. I don't disagree. Dog, have you – so, CK, I know you're a world traveler. You've been all around the states. Have you been to Arizona yet?
No. The most west I've gone has been Vegas. Is that further west than Arizona, or is it east? I actually don't know.
I think it's
maybe on top of it?
It technically would be more west. I think it technically would be, or it's more so on top. You're right. It's in this vicinity. I'm not I'm not that great at it.
We're going to look so dumb right now. I'm looking at
No, it's right on top. I'm going to go right on top. What do you got? What do you got? Pull up the map.
Nevada is west of Arizona.
A little bit west. Because they are in the Pacific time zone, whereas Arizona's in the mountain time zone.
Okay.
By the way, mountains everywhere. It is beautiful, bro. Like, people have told me how nice it is to be out here in the desert, and it is literally the desert. Like, there's cacti in the ground out here just thriving. It's different when you see it in person. So I encourage you to go to the Fiesta Bowl, man. Check your guys out. And I do encourage people to visit Scottsdale now. I will be doing so probably about 3 or 4 times a year now. They ain't going to be able to get rid of me. The one thing that scares me about this, and we're going to get back to college football talk, we're going to get back to what is your number one problem with the 12-team playoff in college football. Just like I have a huge problem with everybody parading and protecting and coddling Josh Allen, you know who you are. We're going to get to that later on. I have more than a problem that even supersedes that with the 12-team playoff in college football, and we're going to have to address that here as we talk about what this thing looks like. CCAT, before we address that, the number one problem with college football's 12-team playoff that we're in the midst of, I will give people a what do you call it, like a state of college football right now as we're down to the Elite Eight.
Where do we sit? We had our first weekend of 12-team playoff play.
Yes, so obviously Ohio State mollywopped Tennessee. Texas had their way with Clemson. Penn State, they beat the smithereens out of SMU, and Indiana was the only one to put up a fight.
Yeah, kind of, I guess so. Right. That
technically. The
cheapest ticket to get into that building was like $600 on Friday night.
Wow. I mean, that's an in-state game, though. Like, those are two teams that are close in proximity to the actual stadium. I'm surprised that many people were trying to push through the doors to get there for a game that I can guarantee you had to be one of the most uncomfortable environments to sit in because it looked cold as hell. But they made it, so that's good. So Notre Dame advances. Here's where we stand. Tuesday, December 31st, number 3 Boise State versus number 6 Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, and that is going to be a standalone on New Year's Eve. So that'll be great. The next 3 games in the quarterfinals of college football, those on New Year's Day. We tip things off. Number 4 Arizona State versus number 5 Texas in the Peach Bowl. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff, and let me hold my voice down because I am outside. I don't want to interrupt or disrupt anybody's day. Probably a lot of Sun Devil fans out here. I think these first 2 games, Penn State in Texas, these are going to be, double-digit wins.
That's kind of a problem when those are the teams that had the bye. Like they shouldn't be double-digit underdogs after having the bye. So,
but
a little flaw in the thing there.
We're going to get to – that's why we need to get to that. I'm going to talk about my number one problem with the college football 12-team playoff, and that is going to be a prong of it. It's not the main thing, but it's going to be a prong of it because I do think we have this thing wrong. But, again, you have to see it in action before you can start taking action on reforming it. After that 1 o'clock kickoff in the Peach Bowl, we have number 1 Oregon versus number 8 Ohio State, a rematch at the Rose Bowl. That's going to be a 5 o'clock kickoff on the West Coast. This one, as we already saw this year, what was that, a 1-point game that Oregon won? This one's going to be good, man. Will Howard got to shake off those demons from sliding early. Dylan Gabriel and Oregon, they've been clicking. They've been that offense when it's going doesn't seem like there's an answer for it. The only team that I would look at as like, okay, they might have that solution is maybe Texas, the way their defense plays, but we'll see if Ohio State can keep up with the Joneses. And then we round things off with number 2 Georgia versus number 7 Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, 8:45 kickoff. Not only is this like playing right in Georgia's backyard, this is playing to the strengths of the Dogs. I think they have their way with the Fighting Irish. I think we get 3 blowouts here in the quarterfinals and 1 good game in Oregon, Ohio State. Am I crazy, CK?
I think Notre Dame Georgia is going to be a really good game.
No.
I think Georgia has shown who they are many a times, played up to Texas, beat Texas, good for them. But Georgia has not looked good more times than they have looked good so far this season.
If it was a different team, I would agree with you. I'm not sold on the Fighting Irish. I haven't been all year, and of course they had the major upset early that people were ridiculing them for and said they had eliminated themselves from the 12-team playoff. I do think Marcus Freeman could be a good coach, right? Like I do think that this is a team that can find a way to win a game, and Georgia's beatable. Like you said, like they don't strike a lot of fear in me, but come on, man. I feel like I've seen this one too many times. Notre Dame against SEC powerhouse on a big stage. And it goes the same way. Why the hell would I think this year will be different?
Well, because it's a different team. Like these Notre Dame guys were not the ones getting blown out by Clemson or getting blown out by Alabama. These are different people who are wearing the same uniform who, well, had a little bit of a similar season to Georgia.
Looked the same to me. So we'll see what happens in that, but that's the quarterfinals. That's how things stand. Here goes my number one issue with the college football 12-team playoff. Here's my number one issue with the selection committee and also with the way in which we digest what all of this means when we're trying to crown a national champion. It lacks one thing. And this is fine when we're like in awards races, it actually intensifies the amount of fanfare, the amount of attention it gets when there's no clarity as to what does MVP mean, right? The reason why we can have these debates year in and year out about who the MVP is of the NBA, of the NFL, is because there's no clear-cut definition of MVP. Now, that hurts certain things when it comes to players' legacies. I think it's fine because, again, it's just an individual award. But the same lack of clarity we have in MVP races is the same lack of clarity we have in what the college football selection committee is supposed to be picking when they name the top 12 teams in the nation. The number one issue in college football is a lack of clarity in the 12-team selection, also in how NIL can be dispersed and should be legislated, also in the transfer portal, as we have a new rule now where JUCO players can play 2 years and still have a full 4 years ahead of them in recruiting. Everything about college football, and it makes sense while I'm on the West Coast right now, is the wild, wild west. It is absolutely unregulated, and it is absolutely not clear and concise. And when you're trying to create a monster that crowns a national championship and you're calling it a playoff, people want to know what actually qualifies this team to be in this position. Is it most deserving or is it best team, right? Is it the team with the best resume or is it the team that we know could be better, could fare better against the team like Ohio State, not Tennessee, because they couldn't do it. Against a team like Notre Dame, because even though Indiana kept it close, you can tell they were outclassed. SMU You were there, C-Cat. Like you said, they didn't belong in that stadium with Penn State.
Oh, once I got out of my car to not tailgate and felt how cold it was, I was like, I don't want to play football today. And neither do those guys from Southern Methodist. That quarterback walked out there and he couldn't hear. That quarterback had no time to breathe. He was making bad decision after bad decision. He made 4 critical mistakes in that football game because of how outclassed SMU was to Penn State.
Yeah, they were. They're in a different tax bracket, if you will. And, again, I still believe SMU deserved to be there. I still believe Tennessee maybe deserved to be there. I still believe, too, Indiana with 1 loss and they didn't beat anybody all year deserved to be there. But you know what? Somebody else got on their high horse like he's been doing for the past 3 years for ESPN in Kirk Herbstreit, and he says, hell no. Let's play the results. Let's get these guys out of here and put the best teams in the nation in. Here's what everybody's upset about with Kirk Herbstreit. We'll get to that here in a second because he struck a chord. Number one, first off, he struck a chord with – he turned – Shannon Sharp into Suge Knight. And I'm confused as to why Shannon Sharp thinks that it is okay for him to publicly send a verbal threat to Kirk Herbstreit. We're going to get to that part of it a little later because this is it's similar conversation, a different portion of what we want to talk about. Before we get to that, I want to talk about what Kirk Herbstreit has been on his high horse saying about the best teams in the land that should have a shot at the 12-team playoff, should have a shot at the national championship versus some of these squads that didn't put up a fight in the first round.
That I hope next year the committee won't get caught up in what the social media and a lot of people who are fringe fans get caught up in, which is wins. They had 11 wins. They must be good. Who did they beat? I think is much more important than how many wins you have. That's old school way of approaching it. Indiana having 11 wins and beating nobody, that doesn't mean they're one of the 12 best teams. Remember, I know, Linda, I'm not taking this out on you, but there's a big difference between deserving and best.
Yeah.
What this is all about is giving us the best 12 teams. Now, it's subjective. How you want to figure out the best 12 is up to you. But that's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about wins. How many wins? Winning's obviously important, but just because you have 11 wins doesn't mean you're better than a team that maybe had a tougher road that had 9 wins. So I think we get too caught up in how many wins you have. It's really more about who are the best 12 teams, and we need to get the best 12 teams in this tournament every year.
Actually, we don't, Kirk. Actually, we don't. We don't need the best 12 teams in this every single year because teams 12 through 9 stink. They're not good enough, and they don't deserve to actually win a national championship. So I don't give a damn that a team like Alabama with 3 losses, but they might have been just beat Oklahoma. Okay? Do that for me. Beat Oklahoma. Everybody else did in the nation. Oklahoma had to beat Alabama to become bowl eligible. It was their 6th win. They suck. And not only did they not beat Oklahoma, they got their ass kicked by Oklahoma. Wasn't it like 24-3?
It was 27-3, I believe.
A team that loses that bad to a bad team, I don't want to hear crap from you. Same thing from Ole Miss. You can't lose to Kentucky and then have their kicker, who was a Lou Groza Award finalist, sitting up there on stage with me out there in Palm Beach County at the ceremony, joking and laughing about how much of a good time he had dancing on the grave of Ole Miss out there. You can't have that mark on your resume and then tell me that team in your locker room deserved a chance to play for the 12-team playoff, to play for the national championship. It shouldn't be 12 best teams because the 12 best teams in the nation don't deserve a shot to play. It's the most deserving teams with the best resumes. Put them in there because guess what? Even though it might have been a slightly better game, Alabama and Ole Miss and even my favorite team, Miami, who was better than SMU, was likely better than Indiana, they still would have ended up either losing those games or losing the one after it. They were not national championship-built teams. None of them are. That's the problem with expanding to a 12-team playoff. Now you got all of these teams in here, and when you look at the history of college football, it's always been about the elite of the elite winning it all. When Cam Newton brought Auburn to the title game, he had to win all the way along the way to do so. Could a Cam Newton-led Auburn squad with 3 losses that snuck into the back end of a 12-team playoff potentially win a national championship? Yeah, he can get hot. They could win 3 or 4 in a row with a talent like that at quarterback, but he didn't deserve to get there because he didn't do the work during the regular season. That's what we all meant when we were saying if you do a 12-team playoff, you're deprioritizing the regular season. And now people like Kirk Herbstreit, who are saying it doesn't, it intensifies the regular season, are trying to deprioritize what you did in the regular season. It should be most deserving, not best, and the College Football 12-team committee needs to make sure they make that clear. We need clarity because guys like Herbstreit thinks it's about the best, whereas everybody else in the nation assumes we're putting the teams in there that earned it during the year. And I think that's how it should be, C-Cat.
Yeah, it's difficult because there's nothing comparable to college football. So I'll attempt to reach over here and reach at college basketball and say, well, college basketball is a mixture of both, right? Like those very small schools that play their conference tournament championship games at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. No, those are probably not the top 62 teams in the country or top 64 teams in the country, but they earned it, and they're put in the tournament because that's how it was meant to be. And this is just a subsidized, just shrinking version of that, where the best teams are probably in your top 8 of your rankings, and then you'll fill in the deserving after that. That kind of seems what they did this year. And now we made our bed, we got to lay in it in terms of watching 4 blowouts.
Yeah.
And that's just how it went this year. Are they going to change it after 1 year? Because I think every season's different. What if there's a season next year where there's only one great team? There's only one hands down better than the rest football team, but 2 through 9 are very comparable. Now you have an interesting type of formula where every single year has a different type of playoff that would best suit that year.
And that's why I prefer most deserving, because everybody had a chance to make the 12-team playoff this year. That's why I'm not crying as a Miami fan. I'm not going to cry as a Canes fan. They lost 2 games down the stretch. You win one of those 2 games against Syracuse or against Georgia Tech, and you are in the playoff and you have a chance. You were given the same opportunity as Boise State to make the 12-team playoff, but they handled business and you didn't. Are you a better team than Boise? Likely. Are you a better team than Indiana? Certainly. Are you a better team than SMU? I think so. But you didn't earn it. You didn't deserve it. You didn't do the prerequisites that were right in front of you that you knew you had to do to get in there, so damn it, you don't get a chance to do it. Those are the consequences of life. We can't keep coddling and babying these programs and these coaches and even these players at times, Dan Orlovsky with Josh Allen and everybody else at CBS Sports too. We can't keep coddling these guys and protecting them from themselves. These are grown men, or in this case in college football, young men at least, who need to realize that that's what happens in life. You deal with the repercussions of your actions. Go out there and win the football game, and they won't plant a flag in the middle of your field, Ohio State. But no, we want to protect them. We got people in Congress or whatever the hell in Ohio, state representatives, making it a felony to plant a flag in the middle of the O at the horseshoe, where I thought the players were supposed to stop you from planting the flag, C-Cat.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on with sports? This is so soft. This is absolutely soft. Kirk Herbstreit, what he's preaching is soft. That state representative in Ohio, absolutely, what do you call it? Toilet paper soft. 4-ply, 5-ply. Let these kids play football, man, and give them what they deserve. Give them what they earned, and stop trying to baby these kids because you want to see a better football game. I don't give a damn what you want to see. But what's your number one problem with the college football 12-team playoff or college football as a whole? With me, it's a lack of clarity, and it's the coddling of these programs by people like Kirk Herbstreit. What is yours? Let us know on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Call in. Tap in with your boy. I'd love to hear from you. I'm out here in North Scottsdale, man. I'm living the life. It's beautiful. The sun is hitting me. I'm in the desert. 888-760-3776. Pull up on me, theoretically speaking. What is your number one issue with college football and the 12-team playoff? Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. Tap into Theoretically Speaking. Let me know your number one issue with college football, and maybe C-Cat and I could get together and solve it for you. Cat, did you give your number one issue already?
I did not give my number one issue.
How about this? How about we hold it for the other side?
Nice.
Because not only are we going to get to your number one issue and we get to the phone lines as well, it's time for me to finally do it. I told y'all a week ago about Josh Allen. I told y'all the only reason why he was minus 1,000 favorite for the MVP trophy is because you wanted him to have it, not because he deserved to be that much of an overwhelming favorite over guys like Lamar Jackson. And when I said multiple times to you, C-Cat, to people around the office, to friends, and when I said this is all about people finding Josh Allen favorable and less about what he's actually done this year, y'all laughed at me. You said I was an idiot. You called me crazy. I did a week ago. And now everybody in the world is seeing exactly what I've been seeing for the past 3 or 4 weeks. We'll get to the favoritism and the coddling of Josh Allen and your number one issue with college football and its 12-team playoff on the other side. And again, maybe it's just that sun getting to me in the desert here. Maybe I'm a little irritable, but I can't wait to jump on this. I can't wait to do it. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at pnc.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
The Construction Reduction Sales Event is going on right now at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Greenway Kia is under construction and we need to move the 24s off the lot so the new 2025s at the port can be delivered. So, we're making deals that other dealers won't. New 2024 Kia Fortes are only $149 per month. Make no payments until next year. Plus, we want your trade. Get up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade. If you have a job bringing home $350 per week, we want to approve your credit. It's the season of new traditions only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Qualified applicants through KFA, 24-month lease, $34.99 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, 0 security deposit required, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. 90 days deferred payments. Interest accrues from date of purchase. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 12/30/24.
Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, is available to play in more than 40 states, including California and Texas. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pixmas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code THEOD and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code THEOD on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Hi, this is Blaine Isbell, Corporate Vice President of Team IP. For over 30 years, Team IP has been a national leader in decorated apparel and promotional products. National corporate brands and 22 college bowl games, including the Boca Raton Bowl, make Team IP their partner of choice. Team IP, located right in our community in Stewart, is a proud partner of ESPN West Palm. Contact me anytime at 877-821-8643 or head to teamip.com and take the first step in making Team IP your team to boost your brand.
Festive fun is back on select nights. At Palm Beach Zoo, there's family fun. It's the best date night. Oh, Zoo Lights cheer, here at Palm Beach Zoo. Oh, what fun it is to save wildlife at the zoo. Hey!
Zoo Lights, presented by Florida Power and Light Company and Discover the Palm Beaches, Florida. Get your tickets today at pbzoo.org/zoolights.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Tried to tell y'all about Josh Allen. I always warn you of things early and you find out late, but I guess that's part of the process here on Theoretically Speaking. I tap you in, and at least you can say you heard it here first, right? At least you can say that. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. We're on remote. We're kicking it live. C-Cat's back in the studio.
We are not on remote.
We're on remote. We are. As a show, we are a show. We are a show family, and we are on remote. No Tina in the happy hour today. She's enjoying her Christmas week. We're actually 2 days out from Christmas, man.
That's crazy.
I got your present. I have your present still. I forgot to drive by the office before I left to give it to you.
All right. I'll take that.
But you know what's funny, man? For my family, and I'm out here to visit my mom. She actually just moved out west a little bit here. And for my fam, me and my mom had the same conversation. We were like, yo, we forgot to do any Christmas shopping this year. There was a lot of transition, a lot of things in flux. Everybody got tied up with work and life. We all came to an agreement. Even my wife Ashley, we all came to an agreement. We are doing no Christmas gifts this year.
Wow. Someone's gonna break it.
Super peaceful. And you know who already broke it?
Yep.
My wife. She can't help herself. I'm like, and she was one of the first people to come to me with it. I'm like, all right, cool, we're good. No gifts this year. No gifts, we're good. And then literally right before we leave, right before we hop on our flight yesterday, she's like, oh, I forgot. Here, I got you something. And it's a pair of Beats headphones.
Oh, that's a good gift.
That's a really good gift. And I'm sitting here giftless with nothing, hands empty. And I feel terrible. So now I got to figure out a way to kind of like reciprocate that gift. I'm reciprocating the gift to you, and then I'm done. And then Santa Teddy is done. No more gifting.
Oh, so I told you on the flight I got really lucky with my exit row and got to shift over, had a space between me and the window seat guy.
Yeah.
Well, I bought some souvenirs at Penn State when I was in town, saw a couple things that I really wanted, want to bring back and bring some Penn State into the Cat household. The thing is, I only had a personal item, and I'm notorious for making the most out of my personal item without having to buy a carry-on or a check bag or anything like that. So I had to go to like one of the little mini marts that are inside of the airport, get a bag from them, or even like one of like the Chick-fil-A bag, like one of the big bags, because they can't deny bringing that onto a plane in addition. Because what do they want you to do? Not purchase things in the airport terminal? So I put my overflow materials in one of those bags while I had my normal carry-on, or my normal personal item, with my extra pair of shoes tied around the outside of it. I looked like I was being deployed, but it fit. It worked well.
You're so cheap.
I certainly am.
That's not even frugal. That's cheap. Also, I'll say this, C-Cat. carry-ons are usually free. Are you flying that cheap of an airline? One of those ones that you have to pay for the carry-on too?
My flight was $140, PBI to Philadelphia nonstop, 7 to 10, and then
was the
8
airline
a.m.
yellow?
to 11.
Was the airline yellow?
Nah,
okay,
green.
It was green.
It was green.
Yeah, either one. Oh goodness. Just know this: if we ever go on a show trip, for theoretically speaking, you will not be handling the booking. I can't do it.
Well, if we go on a show trip, for theoretically speaking, I'm not paying for the booking.
Well, you won't be paying for it. You're right. I'm just saying, I don't even want you part of the booking process because you also are such a nice person that you might agree to some BS like that, too. And I can't have that on my I don't like flying.
But if they're like, hey, would you rather have a nicer dinner after your show, or would you have a nicer flight to get there? I would say, give me the nicer dinner. I can rough it out for 3 hours on a flight.
I want both, man. I want it all. I want it all. I can't help myself. I want it all. We're talking about the changes we want to make to the college football 12-team playoffs and also just college football in general because there are issues. I don't want to be that kind of show, though, because I do want to lead this off. Before I ask you, C-Cat, what your number one issue is with college football, I want to lead it off with this. We are at a good place in college football. There's a lot of entertainment value. There are plenty of teams that feel like they can compete for national championships. Players are getting paid. Like, people are watching. They're locked in. Again, I'm right here in North Scottsdale. There are billboards everywhere talking about the 12-team playoff, talking about Penn State, Boise State that's about to happen in Glendale. We are at an elite place in college football, and there's no better showing of that than the fact that they felt bold enough to challenge the NFL.
Yeah,
they challenged the NFL on Saturday with their games, and I'm sure I haven't seen the ratings yet. We can probably search that up and talk about it. I'm sure they did pretty well. We're just talking about the fixes because that's what everybody is fixated on. Kirk Herbstreit, he's wrong, but he does believe that the 12-team playoff should be the best teams and not the most deserving teams year after year. I think we all as a nation agree it should be the most deserving teams, and if you're one of the best teams, then damn it, prove it on the football field. Don't have the 5 stars on your roster and the good coaching and then slip up against Oklahoma or slip up against Kentucky and then cry afterwards and have Kirk Herbstreit have to sing your praises on ESPN to try to get you a nod in there. No. If you're the best team, prove it on the field. That's how it works. You don't play on paper. You play on the gridiron. So I think it should be most deserving, and I believe that most of the nation agrees with me, except for the people that are stuck in the SEC bubble and Big Ten bubble at times. That's my number one issue, though. We need to be more clear about what we're going for, and it should be going for the most deserving. C-Cat, what's your number one issue with the college football 12-team playoff?
There is just no one united force. It's conferences, and we've had that for forever now, and the BCS kind of helped with that a little bit, but there's no coordination of schedules. So we saw how crappy Indiana's schedule was, and even if they made efforts to beef it up a little bit, they still had both teams that were in the national championship last year. So, it's tough to predict some of these things, and that was their conference opponents anyway. Like you said with Miami, scheduling Florida in the non-conference, that's probably a better game preseason than half the country has scheduled in their non-conference this year. So
on the road, too.
On the road in Gainesville, absolutely. We need to cut the fat, trim the fat, shrink how many teams are actually eligible to win the national championship in college football. That means you can only schedule teams. If you are deemed to be in the upper half of college football, you can only schedule teams that are in the upper half of college football. That's how you have schedules that do not have teams like Virginia. Maybe Virginia's a bad example. Teams like Purdue, really bottom of the barrel. Even though they're considered Power 4, they are not up to par. They're not up to sniff. They have not put up anything on the field in the past 5 years that has deemed them worthy of being a part of someone who might contend for a national championship resume.
So here's my question, though. I like where you're going there. You're right. There should be the haves and have-nots in college football, and the haves should have the opportunity to compete for this trophy, and the have-nots, maybe they go compete for their own trophy. How do you delineate between that? Because you're naming teams that are in Power 5, Power 4, conferences. It's not like you're saying Boise State or Army. You're talking about teams that are already in these defined power conferences.
Yeah, take a tip from the soccer line of thinking with relegation. Like, you can play your way into a national contending program, and you can certainly play your way out of it with a couple of years in a row where you are simply not good enough. And that's how you have schedules that are much more equal. And it's much more easy to compare two teams that are playing pretty good teams generally throughout. And that would also kind of take away the sting of blemishes on records, which we've already seen this year. We're considering these teams that have 2-3 losses, not only because it's a 12-team playoff, but because we're condensing these conferences so much to where Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC was a big deal. USC, Oregon joining the Big Ten. It's a big deal. It means that you are susceptible to being a great team, even an elite team, but still have some blemishes on your record. If everybody's in the same boat, and it's not that you with a big cupcake schedule find your way to the end of the season with only one loss, talking to you, Indiana, then it's easier to compare these teams. Because I think it's fair to say that the bottom of the barrel in the Power Four, let alone the rest of the conferences, is not comparable to the top, the elite teams on the upper halves of all those conferences.
Yeah, you could say that. And then you got teams like Oklahoma beating Alabama. And then you got teams like Kentucky getting the best of Ole Miss. And you got Clemson. I mean, South Carolina ends up being a good team, getting them as well. I think Florida got Ole Miss down the stretch as well, and they had a bad season.
So I guess for the SEC, I agree with you because
Vanderbilt got a squad or two in there.
If these SEC teams were all to the elite in the SEC, they'd have a much better argument. But I think they still do have an argument because when you have Titan after Titan on your schedule, you're getting beat up, and you're also looking ahead, and you're planning more than just 1 week when Alabama comes to town. You're planning more than just 1 week when even LSU comes to town, or Georgia, or Texas. So sometimes you get caught when you're a Big Ten team who has a really easy schedule. You have 4 consecutive weeks of playing the lower teams in the country, and you can not get caught in those situations.
Yeah, there's you're right about this, and that goes into my fact of clarity. It's not an even playing field. And that's why, again, it's going to be tough to get this right in a way that most people feel comfortable with it. I think we're closer today than we were in the past because when you're arguing about 3-loss teams getting in, when you're arguing about that over other teams that are 1-loss teams or whatnot, I think at that point we are in a place where that's a place of luxury. Like, I remember some of the years that were more pivotal where it's like literally like, again, even last year. Think back to last year with Florida State, who lost their quarterback, Jordan Travis, and they weren't one of the best 4 teams in the nation, but they had the best resume. That felt more criminal than people crying for Alabama. I just can't get as worked up for that. It don't move me at all. I don't care enough. That's not a big enough of a problem, but it is for Kirk Herbstreit because he can't wipe away his tears quick enough.
Yeah. And also, I think a lot of this would be fixed if, like, the Big 12 and the ACC weren't bad this year.
Yeah.
It would kind of make that bracket make a lot more sense because when it came out, when they initially announced how this was going to roll about a year and a half ago, 2 years, whenever it was, it didn't look this ugly. That's
when you retroactively fill it out, right? Remember all the retroactive brackets we filled out? Looked a lot better.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, when you have a dominant team in the Big 12, a dominant team in the ACC, Big 10 and SEC, okay, that makes sense. They battled their way through their conference. It might be a little bit weaker than other conferences, but they won that championship. They rose that trophy. The confetti dropped over that team. Now it's like, okay, it's kind of a cool story, almost like an NC State did in the tournament for basketball this year, how Arizona State had to absolutely win their conference in order to be considered for the playoff. That's kind of a cool story until you got to live with the remnants of that story and have Arizona State be 14-point underdogs against Texas.
I'll say this, though. Arizona State, now that especially I've been out here and I see how beautiful it is. And this is what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. They're not a top 4 football team today. But when you do something like make the college football 12-team playoff, now you're in the top 8, now you have the bye, and you have that kind of mark on your resume if you're Coach Dillingham, and you have this to recruit with, like, that might end up being a powerhouse soon. Like, I might see how much eligibility I got left to see if I can go play for Coach. Like, I do think, again, that's why I actually like this, though, C-Cat. It provides a way for those teams like Boise State to recruit the Ashton Gentys of the world because they can say, hey, you can actually compete for a national championship at Boise State now.
Yes, I think
you're not going to win it. You're not going to win it, but you have a chance.
It'll certainly level the playing field a little bit, not entirely, but I think so. I think those NIL dollars will come in, you'll have good guys go into spreading it across the country a bit.
With NIL, the transfer portal, and with the 12-team playoff, there brings more parity to college football than we're giving credit to today. And I am curious if the Arizona States of the world, I mean, hell, even one day in the farthest, deepest regions of our imaginations, the FAUs of the world. Why can't FAU build something similar to what Boise State has, right? I'm not saying it's that easy. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm saying it's easy to recruit kids to Paradise, and also you are in a recruiting hotbed in South Florida. You get the right coach there. You get some NIL dollars there. You hop in that transfer portal. FAU could be not a sleeping giant, but similar to what they were able to do with the basketball team. They became the Gonzaga of the South. Not the Southeast. I guess, technically the Southeast. You can actually do that now in college football. In 1 or 2 years, you can flip a program. Colorado was 1 win away from, 2 years ago they were a 1-win team. This year they were 1 win away from actually being in the 12-10 playoff. I guess technically 1 win away from being in the Big 12 championship, and then if they win that, they're in the 12-team playoff. I appreciate where we are today in college football, and I think it's a good thing that we're able to have these silly-ass debates about the last 9 to 12 versus 16. That's a good place to be to me.
I think it's
I'm cool with it.
Quite literally, we're having growing pains.
Yeah.
Like we grew the playoff, and now we're going to live with how it maybe doesn't fit this exact landscape of college football.
Aww.
But by expanding the playoff, I think that the college football universe will adapt to it. And like we're talking about, that will have other programs pop up that can recruit, that can now say that you can play for a national championship here.
It's good for everybody. Guess what? Guess who else could be in the 12-team playoff next year? Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Easily conceivable. And I would love to see what the odds are, because in the preseason, if the odds are long enough, I might just hop in on that because, again, nobody would have thought Colorado could actually get it done this year. I think Bill Belichick can make even more waves with how much faith and belief people have in him, and also what he's proven to be as a coach. One thing that is expanding every single year and always continues to get better is the South Florida Fair. The South Florida Fair, if there's a recruiting element that would keep me in Palm Beach County versus me enjoying the western paradise of the desert, I mean, I'm telling you, Scottsdale is beautiful. It is things like the South Florida Fair in West Palm Beach. It's coming soon. January 17th is the first day for the South Florida Fair. And if you're finished with your holiday decorations and need to get some affordable gifts for everyone, advanced discount South Florida Fair tickets. They're filled with fun, and they make great gifts. South Florida Fair. The South Florida Fair discount tickets on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. That's southfloridafair.com. The fair opens again January 17th in West Palm Beach. Pull up, have a good time. We'll have some shows out there, not just theoretically speaking, also Russo and Rizzo. It's going to be a great time. Stick around because we didn't get to Josh Allen, but you got to have my piece on this. You got to, because I'm sick and tired of this, dude. Like, Lamar Jackson.
Come on, dude. Not this dude. You're not sick and tired of Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, not
You're
Josh
sick and
Allen.
tired of this situation.
Wrong. Josh Allen's done nothing wrong. At every point in Lamar Jackson's career, he's had to prove his value, prove his worth, and prove himself on the field. It's like he had to continue to – he's fighting against some imaginary wall that people are putting up in front of him, and he's done it. He won a Heisman in college. He's won 2 MVPs in the pros. He's won a couple playoff games after y'all said he couldn't do so. He just hasn't won the Lombardi Trophy. Guess who else hasn't? Josh Allen. But y'all love him to the ends of the earth, and you make every excuse in the book for him. And when he makes mistakes, you pat him on the back and say, "Get him. You'll get him next time, big fella." And when he throws turnovers, you call him arm punts, because I don't know why. But there is a clear delineation between how Josh Allen is taken, perceived, and treated, and how a guy like Lamar Jackson, who has had more success, whose team beat him, has been depicted. And it's not even coded. We'll talk specifically about my issues with this on the other side because some people couldn't even help themselves yesterday as Josh Allen and the Bills struggled to get past a tanking Patriots team. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
This is the Delray Beach Open. Don't miss today's top professional tennis stars and legends in downtown Delray Beach. February 7th through 16th. It's 10 days of tennis on the Ave. 140 miles per hour aces, parties, music, art, and all the good vibes. Come for the nonstop action on and off the court. Snap pics and post memories at the DBO. Join us for a jam-packed week of ATP tennis matches. More fun, more food, more drink, more parties, more of everything. DelrayBeachOpen.com for info.
When it comes to choosing a health plan, you can trust the members who have experienced it firsthand. Humana is proud to offer a Medicare Advantage plan in Florida that earned 5 out of 5 stars. 5 stars is the highest rating possible. It's based on real members' experiences, and it's decided by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Our Humana Gold Plus HMO earned 5 out of 5 stars. That means a few things. It means members get outstanding customer service. It means we connect them with excellent preventive care and chronic condition support. Most of all, it means you have a trustworthy option for a Medicare Advantage plan. Explore our 5-star Humana Gold Plus HMO at Humana5star.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
They can help you if you're in an accident, but your fantasy football team, not so much.
Celebrate the most wonderful time of the year at the Gardens Mall. Santa is here for photos during all mall hours now through Christmas Eve. Reserve your spot at whereissanta.com. The Kids Corner Holiday Shop in Nordstrom Court is now open. Kids can pick out gifts for their favorite people with help from Santa's special helpers. Plus, enjoy festive decorations and holiday events throughout the mall. The Gardens Mall, just 1 mile east of I-95 on PGA Boulevard. Join us this holiday season and make magical memories with the whole family.
My leg! I am not angry. I am in pain. My leg!
Time now for an injury report.
My head and torso! Wow, that's crazy. They hit me everywhere except my legs!
Presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
My leg!
Well, this one actually, for once, is about a leg, and it's not to be taken lightly. Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans says wide receiver Tank Dell suffered a dislocated kneecap and torn ACL and more damage. He's going to undergo season-ending surgery. C.J. Stroud's best friend, one of his best weapons, and also, again, in his sophomore season, He was emerging as one of the best receivers in the league. Again, a season-ending injury for him, and that one coming in the game where the Texans fell short of the Chiefs, but he actually caught a touchdown and had almost 100 yards. So sad for the ability for the Texans to be able to move the ball on offense. Sad for a guy like C.J. Stroud, who was visibly upset and was brought to tears on the sideline when he saw his buddy in pain. And I think it does make the Texans that much weaker and that much of a more favorable spot for any of the AFC teams fighting for a wild card to go visit in that first round. They already were the weakest of the bunch when it comes to the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens. Now I think that teams are going to be licking their chops to get in that spot. So we'll see how that shakes out. But, again, no Tank Dell for the rest of the year. And it sucks to see a guy like that who worked so hard and has been so good lose his ability to play once again. That's the Baptist Health Orthopedic Care injury report. And, again, Tank Dell out for the season. C-Cat, that just stinks, man. You could tell that was that just kind of took the wind from out of the sails of the Texans.
It does stink. We talked about for the last 55 minutes how these conferences are not all created equal. And it's like these divisions in the NFL aren't either. Like, this is not unique to college football, a problem with separation of power. And now the Texans, the best team in their division, just got weaker, and it stinks.
Yeah. They'll win the division. I think they already clinched the division, so they got the 4 seed, and they'll have a home game, and they'll likely play the 5 seed, which right now I believe is the Chargers. I'll have to double-check on that in the AFC. It's technically the Ravens still because of divisional ties and all of that. We'll see how things shake out, but, again, they'll have a home game, the Houston Texans. The Bills are going to have a home game to open up the playoffs. They're likely not going to have the number 1 seed because the Chiefs did take care of business. But what they will have is the favor of every single person at CBS, including some folk at ESPN, because it feels like no matter what Josh Allen does, no matter how poorly he plays or how good or bad the surrounding cast is for the Bills, everybody just wants to love on Josh Allen. Did you watch this live, C-Cat, when Josh Allen threw the pick deep in the end zone, 3rd and 16 from their own 50?
Yes, I was in a bar in Westchester, Pennsylvania, watching that arm punt live.
Did you, when you saw him throw that interception, what was your immediate thought on that? Did you think it was a good play by Josh Allen? I mean, what'd you think?
I don't think it's fair to ask me because I am a Josh Allen fantasy football owner. So when I see him chuck the ball deep, I don't think, okay, field position game. I think, oh, no, not a touchdown. It's actually -2 points. That adversely affects my wallet and my hopes of raising a championship born and bred in the Cat household. But I didn't think it was that. That's kind of the Josh Allen that we've known. He kind of makes those decisions, and whether they're calculated or not, oftentimes the result can give the excuse of calculation.
Yeah, so he was 16 for 29, 154 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick against a bad Patriots team. The Buffalo Bills did escape with a 24-21 win. James Cook carried the day, 11 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Also was the leading receiver with 3 catches and 26 yards and a touchdown through the air. Josh Allen had a bad game. The Bills escaped with a win. That's all you care about in the NFL is leaving 1-0. I believe that wholeheartedly. And they improved to 12-3. They're still in the race for the 1 seed in the AFC. Just last week, Josh Allen was -1,000 to win the MVP. I told y'all that was a ridiculous number. People laughed at me. I said, y'all, he only has this strong of an MVP case because y'all want him to win it, not because he's that much more separated than Lamar Jackson. You said I was a crazy man. And then we watched Josh Allen against the Patriots struggle, drive after drive, sneak away with the win, and the most telling part of how there is favorable coverage and coddling of Josh Allen was not only how his interception was handled, because CBS Sports tweeted out the interception Josh Allen threw on 3rd and 16 and called it an arm punt, which was laughable. But I said, you know what? It's probably like not an intern, but it's a social media team. I'm not going to knock CBS for that, right? Social media team tweeted that, not the broadcasters. But then an actual person that considers himself an analyst and an NFL expert and a former quarterback in the league, Dan Orlovsky, was on ESPN, and he had this to say when they played back the highlights on Get Up.
Josh Allen throwing to the end zone, Dan. To the wrong team, though.
No, totally the right decision to do it, though. It's 3rd and 16. Who cares if the ball gets intercepted? You might get PI, you might get catch. That's not an interception.
He's terrible.
Dan Orlovsky, listen now, listen clear. It ain't no air down there, my guy. It ain't no air down there. Get on up. Come up for air. Because what I'll tell you is you are exhausting yourself trying to find ways to excuse and coddle him. And just like back in the day when I was at track practice after he ran that 200 and I gave him my all and track coach was like, hey, hands off your knee. Ain't no air down there. Come on up. Because he don't need your protection. He don't need your defense. That was an interception. That was a bad play. That was 3rd and 16 from a position in which if you check it down and make a smart play and pick up 5 yards or so, you're actually in field goal range. Coach didn't tell you to go out there and arm punt it and give it away. You punt the ball on 4th down if you were looking for a punt. On 3rd and 16, you can pick up 10 and get 3 points. Instead, it's a negative play, and it didn't end up a touchback. It ended up on the 1 yard line because of how idiotic of a play I believe it was Duggar made after he made the interception. But it's crazy to me, C-Cat, that you have that. You have CBS calling it an arm punt on Twitter. And then also at the end of the game, I'm not sure if you saw the graphic. At the end of the game,
this is bad. This is like
what? This is the part that you didn't like.
This is deep state media stuff. Like to
It's
read
crazy,
dystopian novels and like how they're changing facts. Yeah. Like this was actually bad.
This is like not even. They're not even hiding it at this point. The favorability in which they give when it comes to covering Josh Allen. They put up a graphic of the final stats of the game. And, it had Josh Allen stats on there, James Cook, and also Drake May for the Patriots stats on there. And for May, it showed his touchdowns, his yards, and his interceptions. Makes sense. For James Cook, it showed his touchdowns, his yards, and I believe his receptions. Makes sense. For Josh Allen, though he had the same amount of interceptions as Drake May, there was no sign of it on that graphic. How do you explain that, C-Cat?
You can't explain that. That's bad.
This is crazy. But it hasn't just been this. This is more public. This is more obvious. The treatment of Josh Allen since like almost day one has been insane. And unless he has Olivia Pope on his PR team from Scandal, or unless maybe he's got something over these guys at the media companies. Maybe he saw something that Dan Orlovsky did and he holding it down for him, and that's why, buddy, it ain't no air down there. He don't want to come up. It's sick to me though, and it's not objective. And also, why can't Lamar every now and then get that same level of treatment? I don't get it.
Yeah. Did you look at the odds? How they've adjusted since
they shifted
the weekend?
What? Minus.
I got Josh Allen at minus 500, Lamar at plus 375. And that was, combined with a down Josh Allen game, it was a big Ravens win and a big performance from Lamar Jackson. So that makes sense.
It makes sense. Lamar also had a Jackson 5 last weekend too. So, that's what I don't get. Lamar's stats have been better than Josh Allen's all year. Lamar and the Ravens beat the Bills. Actually, they beat the crap out of them this season. That's what I don't get. But still, you think Josh Allen's the MVP favorite. He don't got a case for it. Lamar's the MVP. In fact, Saquon Barkley had a chance to have an MVP moment, but he missed it. He dropped the ball. And he's not going to rise up in those rankings. But Josh Allen ain't the guy that y'all want him to be, and that's fine. He's still got to go out there and prove it on the field every Sunday like everybody else. You can't win those games for him. You can't call his mistakes arm punts. And as much as you want to cover him in a favorable light, he got to go get it like everybody else. We'll continue some NFL talk, including what we want to see. Not the 12-team playoff, but in the NFL, there's 14 of them things, baby. Who do we want to see sneak in the wild card? Who would put up the best show and the best fight against some of the top teams, both in the NFC and the AFC? The Bengals, though I thought they would be and they should be, they ain't dead yet. And I'm starting to think I kind of want to see them and the Bills in the opening round. More of that on the other side as we enter the happy hour of Theoretically Speaking. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. And before I let you go, I got to tell you about Duffy's Sports Grill. Duffy'sMVP.com. That's where you can go right now to see where the nearest Duffy's is to you. And you're going to want to do it soon because they have a lot of holiday specials right now. It's holiday season. and Duffy's is going to take care of you. They got 80 or more televisions in every single location, so you're able to actually tap in on any of these games. We got the 12-team playoff. We got football on the professional level. Basketball's going on. You want to get a view of all of it, go to a Duffy Sports Grill. They have it for you. They also have 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. They got great service. They got great food. It's Duffy Sports Grill. Become an MVP like me. Then you can start stacking up your rewards. Duffy'sMVP.com. Become a rewards member like me. They call it an MVP there. And unlike Josh Allen, you can actually get that today. You go online, Duffy'sMVP.com. You can become an MVP today. And it's not like I'll just call you one because I want you to be one. You can do it yourself. You can earn it. Duffy'sMVP.com. At Duffy's, our game is always on.
I told you I was at a bar in Pennsylvania watching that Patriots. Who they play? The Patriots-Bills game.
The Bills, yeah. They played the Bills. It was forgettable. It was a forgettable Bills performance.
Do you know why I had a problem with that?
Yeah.
Why are the Bills wearing their red alternate uniforms against the Patriots? It looks like they're wearing the Patriots uniforms. It looks like an inter-team scrimmage. That confused the daylights out of me for a while there.
Yeah. Ashley, my wife, who is big into aesthetics, and she's an artsy gal, she hates when two teams that are similar colors play each other. And she specifically hates when it's like that, where they lean in on the colors that are similar. So yeah, we gotta have some kind of maybe unifying body in professional sports that decides the uniforms for these teams.
Yeah, I had a point there, and I forgot to make it. Yeah, there are only 6 TVs in the bar I was at.
Whoa!
Only 6, single digits. Can
That's
count
crap.
them on one hand and a big toe.
Yeah.
Not Duffy's.
Maybe Duffy's needs to expand. Get up out of Florida, go to some more states, and show them how to do a sports bar. On the other side, the happy hour here on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Theo Dorsey. The holidays are approaching, and there is no better gift than 2025 spring training tickets at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Come see the St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins in Jupiter. Individual game tickets are on sale, as well as season tickets, groups, mini plans, VIP experiences, and more. Get your tickets today at the ticket office or by going to RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Paradise is waiting for you at the newly reimagined Hilton West Palm Beach. With artful, sun-filled guest rooms, it's the perfect escape. Unwind with resort-style amenities. Indulge in 5 unique dining spots, including the all-new Moody Tongue Sushi. Hilton West Palm Beach offers flexible event spaces, vibrant nightlife, and so much more. Book your stay today at HiltonWestPalmBeach.com. Paradise reimagined at Hilton West Palm Beach.
Make Twin Peaks your UFC headquarters to watch all your favorite fighters every single week. Whether your fighter wins or loses, you still end up a winner. With eats, drinks, scenic views, and Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer. Enjoy some made-from-scratch favorites while watching all the fights. Can't make it in for UFC? That's all right. Come for the man-sized $5 happy hour drafts. and enjoy select appetizers as well. The ultimate guys lodge for UFC is Twin Peaks.
Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, is available to play in more than 40 states, including California and Texas. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pixmas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code THEOD and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code THEOD on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
This holiday season, give your loved ones, friends, and colleagues a gift with endless possibilities. Give them a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat those who matter most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new Golf and Racket Club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card. Compliments of the Breakers. Visit thebreakers.com today. Happy holidays from the Breakers family to yours.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. That's right. We on the road today, baby. At least I'm on the road. CCAT doesn't want to take that for some reason as well. Are you being critical of me that I'm not in the office today, CCAT? Is that what that is?
It's not that I want points taken off of you.
Yeah.
I want points being given to me
for
being in the office. I think I deserve that.
You deserve points for showing up to work when you already had plans on being in West Palm versus you feeling like I don't. Do I deserve points for packing a damn Comrex with me? I had to leave clothes and shoes out of my suitcase that I wanted to get off. I wanted to get some fits off in the desert, but instead I got all this damn radio equipment with me so I can do a show.
Mr. Moneybags complaining about how I only went personal item. Have you ever thought about packing another suitcase?
I checked one. You gotta remember, I'm traveling with my wife too, and she tends to overpack. So we packed one big checked bag together. And then we had to bring 2 carry-ons because I needed so much space for my radio equipment. Plus, we had to pack. The weird thing about Arizona this time of year is it gets super cold in the morning and at night. It's like cold enough to where you need winter-ish gear, like sweaters at least. And then during the day, it's scorching hot. So you kind of got to pack for both. It's a little weird.
No, I respect you not taking the days off. Like I saw Mike Rizzo kind of popped on ESPN in Cleveland. He's not going to be on his show today.
Wait,
but he decided to join Pop's show. Yeah.
Mike Rizzo is not only in a city where there is a ESPN affiliate that is owned by GKB in ESPN Cleveland, and he jumped on another show. He's also not doing his own show today. And I'm sitting outside in the scorching sun in the desert. I'm sitting outside surrounded by cacti. Not cactuses, CCAT, cacti.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I got the real Cacti Park in the Palm Beaches. We're down the road from me. How about that?
Well, yeah, there you go. Well, I like that. I like that. We're gonna talk about this the way that things are shaping up in the NFL playoffs. We're gonna talk about who we would like to see there in the 7, 6 seeds in both conferences because now we're getting down to the nit and gritty. Tonight we got Packers Saints.
Yeah.
Which only matters for fantasy football playoffs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only reason why it's going to get high viewership on Monday Night Football. And thank you because, of course, I love anything that has to do with ESPN making more money. It's good for us. People are going to be watching because they want to see if Jordan Love and Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, hopefully not Christian Watson, and maybe is Kamara playing still? Is he out?
No, he's out. We got
Kendre Miller then, yeah.
Exactly. Kendre Miller, waiver wire hero possibly. I picked him up, didn't start him. Thank you a lot, Brian Robinson Jr. Putting up 2 points, pal.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
And you would think if the Commanders dropped, 36 on the Eagles and won, that Brian Robinson would have had a good day.
2 fumbles. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Robert giving thank yous. I was going to say thank you, Drew Lock, for single-handedly. I don't know if I'll be eliminated yet, but single-handedly almost eliminating me. Not because I started Drew Lock. No, I have a great fantasy football team because he threw the ball to Atlanta's defense 18 times and couldn't even help himself to go make a damn tackle. I don't ever say or do this.
You are now. Come on.
But I'll do it now. I hope he gets cut.
Okay.
I hope he lose. I hope he gets. I'm that angry right now because you're not competent enough. I don't even care. You could have got shut out, right? The Giants could have got shut out. I wouldn't have blinked an eye. I would have said, cool. You know what? The Atlanta defense scored a serviceable amount of points of me, but I still can fight back. I still got a chance in the fantasy football playoffs. But because you're giving this, I ain't going to get into it. I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah,
that sucked, though.
That did suck. I was watching the Eagles-Commanders game with a bunch of Eagles fans, like Delco, hardcore Philly people.
Yeah.
All the stereotypes are true, and I grown a new appreciation for them. They are a special bunch, and I
like them.
I did like them. I actually did like them. I met my college buddies' parents who have not known anything else except for Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, and they live and die with that team, and they hate that team when it's justified. And I'm sure that in Philadelphia sports radio today, Devontae Smith is getting an earful today. They hate Kenny Pickett, of course, because Kenny Pickett was so bad down the stretch in that game. But he's a backup quarterback. What do you want from him?
Yeah.
It was turmoil all over again. And once Devontae Smith dropped that third down catch that would have iced the game, would have won the football game, I said, guys, you got to bet on Commanders right now. You just do. And I'm not trying to pump air in my own tires, but it's not only because of who the Eagles are, but it's who Jaden Daniels is. Man. He is that guy in those moments when you give him an extra life, he's going to make you pay for it, and he did it once again.
He is going to he's going to single-handedly be the reason why this is the greatest quarterback class of all time. And I made that claim this offseason, and I thought it was going to be because of other guys as well. I thought he would be a part of that. But him proving himself to be likely the best of the bunch, and to say that he's the best of the bunch, and you still got a guy like Drake May who's been balling with no weapons. You still got a guy like Caleb Williams who's been balling with – I say that's a disadvantageous situation out there in Chicago. Like, that's a bad organization, but they have some good weapons, but the offensive line is bad. It's hard to get a good read on Caleb Williams, but when you look at his actual overall production, it's not terrible. He's looking good. He's starting to trend in a better direction, and also he's been making some pretty elite plays. I think Caleb Williams is still going to end up being a Pro Bowl level playoff game-winning quarterback. The question is, does he ever elevate to become a guy that's lifting the Lombardi? That's to be seen. Drake May looks good. Michael Penix Jr.
Wow.
The debut of Michael Penix Jr., who looked really good. I know the stats didn't jump off the page, but, man, look how much better that Falcons offense felt to watch and how much more seamlessly they moved the sticks with a guy back there that can move in the pocket, that can escape pressure, who's not afraid to get put on his tail, and also he can sling that football. He's got a real arm.
Was I too many drinks in at Cafe 210 Western State College, or did I get a notification that Kirk Cousins got cut at the same time?
Bro, so what was that, like a couple of days ago? It felt like there was news that Kirk Cousins got cut that kept getting put out there, like not Sunday, but like Friday or something like that. And I was just as confused as you. So I thought, damn, they pulled the trigger this quick. They didn't even let him ride out the rest of the year.
Play a snap.
And then I see Kirk. Like, I see him on the sideline.
What if Michael Penix just sucks? Like, it's like really bad. I know we've seen tape from him, but he was good. But exactly, as you mentioned, the news of him expected to cut. So I think that was the verbiage.
He's expected to be cut. He's expected to be cut. But everybody acted as if he had already gotten cut, and they were almost like writing articles as if Kirk Cousins was like on the waiver wire in the NFL, and it was a little confusion. But no, he's still there. I think he's as good as cut. I don't think he takes another snap for the Falcons. I feel like even if Penix gets hurt, like Kirk Cousins looked abysmal down the stretch. And I'm curious, if you're Raheem Morris, if you're Fontenot, the GM of the Falcons, why didn't they make this decision earlier? Was it a commitment to Kirk Cousins and the money, or did they really feel like Penix wasn't prepared? Because he looked good out there. He looked prepared. The offense had way more juice to it. And if it had not been for a Kyle Pitts drop and for Bijan Robinson not extending that one catch into the end zone, his stat line would have looked amazing, actually. Like, Kyle Pitts drops the ball and it turns into an interception when it could have been a drive that ended in a touchdown. And Bijan Robinson, remember that pass that he threw to him, and he even said after the game, like, he felt bad for not getting it into the end zone. The next play was a handoff to Bijan, and he got in there. That could have been 2 touchdown drives for Penix, plus the yardage, plus the efficiency. Like, he's going to be good, man.
This quarterback situation in Atlanta is the most puzzling situation that does not involve scandal that I can think of.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many layers to this about having pride, not having pride. You know, you were able to man up enough and admit that Kirk Cousins might not be the answer by drafting Michael Penix. So you have that airbag, you have that backup plan, but then hesitating to use it because you really want to be right about signing a guy to that amount of money coming off an Achilles injury. So it's caught between an ego problem and a pride problem and not wanting to admit you were wrong, even though you kind of admitted you were wrong by drafting Michael Penix. Like, there's so many times I talk myself into circles about the rationale that went into Atlanta's approach to this season that I'm kind of happy we can kind of turn the page. And if they do cut him, like they are expected to cut him in March, apparently, it'll be a cool, clean slate for Falcons fans.
I'll say this. If the Falcons had pulled the trigger and moved on from Kirk Cousins 3 weeks ago, if they put Penix in 3 weeks ago, I would feel like they would be strong enough. They get that because they're going to win their division likely if they're able to win out. The Buccaneers shot themselves in the foot against the Cowboys. And really, I don't think the Bucs had a bad game down the stretch. It's just the defensive backs for the Cowboys. They single-handedly won that game.
Yes.
Bland with the interception and then stripping the ball away from Rachaad White, which, by the way, again, this is a idiotic move on the coaching staff's behalf. You're committing yourself to the veteran and Rachaad White, who is good, when a guy like Bucky Irving has been elite for you out of the backfield. Why was he not the one next to Baker Mayfield catching that ball? Because I guarantee you, not only would he have not given the ball up there, he might have got you a few extra yards. That was stupid how much they played Rachaad White over Bucky Irving. They deserve to get that loss.
Yeah, Bucky Irving, you look at the stats they put at the bottom of the screen and how he's progressing the football at a kind of a league best rate when he touches the ball. Yeah, it sucks.
He's so good. He's so good. And I get it. I guess you want to be committed to veterans and you want to reward people that have higher contracts or whatever's going on, both with the Falcons and with the Buccaneers here in the NFC South. But this incompetence on behalf of the coaches is getting in the way of your ability to play in the playoffs this year. Right now, as it stands, the Falcons have the inside route to the 4 seed in the NFC. And the point I was making about Penix is if they gave him a few more games, you know, if he had a little bit more experience and data points, I'd feel confident saying that, you know, maybe they do get a win over they're not going to be favored because they're likely going to draw the Vikings. The 13-2 Vikings is what they will be slated to host to open up the playoffs. So I'm not saying they win the game, but if Penix had a little bit more experience, I mean, come on, they could put up a fight. I might throw some money on them as a you know, underdog in the playoffs at home against the Viking squad like that if he had more experience. We'll see how he does over these next 2 weeks. Am I crazy for feeling that way, though?
No, you're definitely not crazy for feeling that way. I'm kind of looking at last night's Sunday Night Football game that also played the Buccaneers out of that inside track in their division. Yeah. You talk about the Cowboys defensive backs, man. Those 2 pivotal moments, those 2 pivotal turnovers, but it was also an entire game of hard legal hits. Maybe it was hospital balls thrown by Baker Mayfield. Maybe it wasn't. But they were laying dudes out across the middle of the field consistently. Doesn't matter if you play tight end and you're 275 pounds or you're a grizzled vet like Mike Evans weighing 225. Didn't matter who you were getting planted if you went across the middle against that Dallas Cowboys defense. It just makes you think how many times when you waste these elite units that the Cowboys have and can't seem to put it all together.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what they do to retool things this offseason. They're obviously not as bad of a team as they played this year, but they're not as good as they wanted to be, and then losing Dak Prescott kind of put it all to crap. But this is going to be a pivotal offseason, pivotal summer for the Cowboys. So many other teams feel like that. Like the Jets. The Jets got some decisions to make, and I would hope they don't err on the side of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams over a young superstar and Garrett Wilson, but that's one of the decisions that seems like it's on the table for them. But before we get into all of that, because offseason talk is going to have its way, we are gearing up for the NFL playoffs, 2 weeks away from knowing exactly who will be in and what the seeds will be. So I want to get into some football talk and who you want to see at the 7 seed. How about this? We'll pitch it to the phone lines right now. 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Of the bubble teams, both in the AFC and the NFC, I'm talking about the Broncos, the Bengals, heck, even the Colts who have a chance to make the playoffs. And then in the NFC, teams like the New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Atlanta Falcons, and then, of course, the Seattle Seahawks who are fighting for their division. Of these bubble teams in the league, who would you most want to see sneak in with the 7 or 6 seed because you want to see them play more football? Let us know on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Let us know of those bubble teams chasing wild card spots. Who do you most want to see enter the big dance in the NFL because maybe you think they can upset one of the big dogs? And I'll give you a hint as to who mine is right now. Before we call to the phone lines again, 888-760-3776. Who Dey? I can't believe I'm saying it, but who Dey? I'd love to see Dey get Dey butts kicked in the first round anyways. 888-760-3776. That is the number for the Baptist Health Hotline. Let us know right here on Theoretically Speaking who you want to see in the big dance that's on the bubble in the NFL. 888-760-3776. The Baptist Health Hotline. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery, as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Hit us up here on Theoretically Speaking. Join the show. Join the fam. And who do you want to see that's on the playoff bubble in the NFL make it in for Wild Card Weekend? We hit the phone lines now. We hit the Baptist Health Hotline. We have Joe is in Jupiter. Joe, you're here on Theoretically Speaking. And your Cowboys, man, they must have you feeling like you want that old thing back, Joe.
Man, I told you that I knew this would happen. I just knew it would happen. We're going to be probably 9-8, picking 16th or 17th. I've told you this story before. Actually, we're not. We're not going to win next week against Philadelphia. But then look at what happens. Jalen Hurts has a concussion. He might not even play next week, so we might figure out a way to beat them. And then Washington is better than us, and who knows if they'll be playing for anything. But, yeah, I mean, our defense was – I just caught the end of your conversation, so if I'm repeating stuff that you might have already said, I apologize. I didn't. I just heard Cowboys, and I had to call in.
Of course,
I just tuned in like 5 minutes ago. But, yeah, the defense stepped up like crazy. Yes, there's a lot of – I'm not going to give you all the names. You probably know them, but I'm not going to – I'm not going to repeat them. Most people can't even pronounce them. But there's a lot of people that stepped up, including Micah Parsons. Oh, my gosh. And the guy that replaced Overshown, I can't pronounce his name right now, and I'm not going to waste our time with that.
Yeah.
They're hitting people. That's all I'm saying. They are hitting people. And I don't know if this is going to – I kind of hope it doesn't do enough to save McCarthy's job. But there's a lot of talk, depending on how the next 2 games go, that he could be back, which as a Cowboy fan, I don't know if that's what I want. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. But it was a fun game to watch. even though I really wanted them to kind of lose, I can't root for them to lose, because draft position is only a few spots. And then the team that I'll tell you that I know that Kristen said that on the bubble, are the Colts on the bubble? I believe they are.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in football, I think. But he's top 3. I don't know.
He's up there. No, that's a good call, and Joe, I appreciate that. He's Jonathan Taylor had one of those vintage JT games, and he almost went for the damn record on the ground, and that's what Anthony Richardson provides. That's why I believe it's a good thing that they did bring him back out there. His stats are never going to look great. He's not an accurate quarterback, but what he does to defenses in the run game, where the way he forces them to respect him, opens up more holes for JT and allows him to burst right through them things like he was doing time in and time out for the Colts. I think that would be a dangerous team in the AFC. You're right. Like, I would fear them because of the volatility of Anthony Richardson. He might hit you for a few deep balls that you didn't think were possible, and the threat of JT in the backfield. That is honestly, I would be more afraid of that team in the playoffs than I would be of the Cincinnati Bengals. But as a fan, especially as a fan of the Chiefs, I do say in the AFC, I prefer to see the Bengals actually make it. I prefer to see them back themselves into the playoffs and have to face likely the Bills on the road, because I'm sick and tired of these hypotheticals. I'm sick and tired of people giving all of these excuses, not only to Josh Allen, but also to Joe. And he looked like a superhero, Joe Burrow did, for the Bengals against the Browns, throwing touchdowns, falling forward in the air, escaping pressure. Now, sometimes he does that to his own demise, right? He holds the ball too long, and he's not as athletic as he thinks he is. So a lot of times that escapability, it ain't really what he thinks it's going to be, and then he gets smashed in the backfield or loses fumbles and whatnot. So it can be ugly, but when it looks good, it looks great. And whenever you can get the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Yoshevich, Yoshevich, is that his name? Yoshevich, right? Yoshevas is his name. Andres Yoshevas. It's going to look good in the end. I want to see them sneak in, just because there's going to be more juice behind a Bills-Bengals opening round game than Bills-Colts or like Anthony Rich. Even though I will say, though, I'm in the middle of me making the point, Anthony Richardson in the playoffs.
But it would just be like the biggest roller coaster where we kind of forgot about the Colts.
Josh Allen. They be looking each other in the eye. That's bad Josh Allen, excuse me.
Thank you.
But here's the thing, though, about Josh. Like, he's been so good this year because he's taking the risk out of his game. That's why he's been so efficient. That's why he hasn't turned the ball over at the high rates that he's done in the past, because he's been able to turn around and hand it off to
James Cook.
Call him Joe Cook. James Cook. I got a homie named Joe Cook who's a sports reporter. He keeps handing the ball off to James Cook. He's throwing it short and dinking and dunking at guys like Khalil Shakir and whatnot. Those are more safe throws. I'm not criticizing him for it. It's better for the offense because he, like anybody else, unlike anybody else, is so damn good in third and short or even third and long that you can be conservative and then get aggressive on those downs where you need to. I'm not criticizing it, but what I will say is when Josh Allen gets into a situation where he is forced to take more risk, that volatility is going to re-show itself. And if the Colts defense can force him into that, or the Bengals defense, or the Chiefs or the Ravens down the line, that bad Josh Allen is going to show up again. But then you're going to have people like Tony Romo or Dan Orlovsky saying he's just doing it for field position. So I guess it don't matter anyway.
See, I'm with you. I want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. I'm kind of like in the mind of every TV executive because people now know Joe Burrow. Once you make it to a Super Bowl and you are considered at one point a rival of Patrick Mahomes and maybe the kryptonite of Patrick Mahomes, you make it to the mainstream where everybody's got an opinion on you and people will tune into your football game even though you're a 500 team. People will watch him to watch that offense, and I want to see the Bengals in the playoffs, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. I want to see the Falcons in the playoffs in the NFC. That would be ideal for me. The Cardinals get bounced, so it's between the Rams and the Seahawks in the NFC West. I don't really have an angle on that. For my money, I would like the Seahawks because earlier in the season I put in a nice ticket on them. for my radio professionalism and for the credibility of Theoretically Speaking. I'd love the Rams to make it because I called that this offseason. But my best call of the offseason, let's never forget, was that the 49ers would not make the playoffs, and that came true this weekend. You're welcome.
I like how we wrap it up. Like, what's important to remember is that I was right about this.
Yes. And, I need everybody to remember that. There were several points. Here's the thing, though. I don't go out on a ledge and make major points unless I really feel confident about it. When I said Lamar Jackson's better than and has had a better career than and is a better quarterback when it comes to the quarterback tiers right now than Josh Allen, I meant that. I felt that. I stood on that. And now more people are coming to that side as they're seeing how the coverage is. And also if you look at the direct stats and the head-to-head. So I was right about that. I was right about the Niners. I said the Bengals wouldn't make the playoffs, and now they might backdoor sneak in. And I'd actually be a fan of it because I'd like to see Joe Burrow get tested again in the playoffs. Show me, Joe, if you really are Joe Cool like that, if you really are a guy that peaks his game in the playoff and can be a giant killer to some of those squads like the Chiefs or the Bills just because you're so confident. Right? That's what they say about Joe Burrow. Oh, they don't want to see him. Well, why don't they want to see him? Because he believes in himself. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. A place where it'll help you believe in your golf game more and more. That's Kaiser University. That's where I've been going to improve my golf game. KaiserGolfCenter.com. Tap in there. I'm right here in North Scottsdale. I've already been invited to go golf this week. I don't have the sticks with me. I ain't got the sticks, but I got the tricks. You feel me? The sticks ain't with me, but the tricks still with me because I learned them at the Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. So I will be taking them up on a round of golf, and I won't be embarrassing myself because I trained like a pro with the Seahawks. They have a 2,000-square-foot indoor facility. It's right there in the heart of West Palm Beach at the Kaiser University flagship campus. They got a driving range, putting green. You can work on your wedge. You also, in that indoor facility, 3 different hitting bays with great ball flight technology, video replay, and your coach can take you in there as well if the weather's not good. It's perfect. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center, KaiserGolfCenter.com. Tap in with me and train like a pro. That's how the Seahawks do it. That's the only way they know. KaiserGolfCenter.com. Get your game right. It's season, and you don't want to be left behind. KaiserGolfCenter.com. Train like a pro. C-Cat, I was getting ready to go to break, but I think our guy Ryan in West Palm.
He dropped. He was a little impatient.
Oh, my bad, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan dropped. If you are still angling on Josh Allen right now, Ryan, I'm not sure if you're going to be a defender of him or a realist like me. We will welcome your call, 888-760-3776, because this Josh Allen thing is important right now. It's important to highlight how not only was he bad against the Patriots and they snuck by because of some favorable calls, and then also the defense stepping up at the right times, and the Patriots, making some erratic plays down the stretch, but they ain't got the personnel. They got the win, but it did hurt Josh Allen's MVP case. And I told y'all, Lamar's going to have the last word in this. I made sure to put my money where my mouth was back when I made that statement, and now it's getting sweeter and sweeter by the day, C-Cat. That's your quarterback.
Look, hey, that's not my quarterback. That's the quarterback that I thought was going to win the MVP at the beginning of the season. No, I'm talking
about Lamar now. I'm talking about Lamar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your quarterback, and I got faith in him. And so my thing too, C-Cat, I also want Josh Allen to be good. I also think he is very good. He just doesn't have a case to be the overwhelming favorite for the MVP. In fact, he no longer even has a case to be the favorite. They're not going to get the 1 seed in the AFC. He doesn't have top 5 quarterback stats right now. There's 5 quarterbacks right now in the NFL better statistically than Josh Allen, and he's not even the best team in his conference. There's no case.
But you know how these quarterback stats are. Like how Matt Stafford was the top of the NFL for many years with the Lions. When your team isn't good, you got to throw the ball more because you are trailing more often than not. The Bills are a good football team. They lead more often than not. So he doesn't really have to throw the football as much.
So what you're saying is the Bills are a really good football team that Josh Allen plays on, right?
The reason why the Bills are good is because of Josh Allen.
And also because of that supporting cast, which doesn't have the names. They don't have the names, so they don't get the credit, but his supporting cast has been great. People talk about how Lamar is only good this year because of Derrick Henry. Can I introduce you to James Cook? Can I?
All right.
Like, without James Cook, the Bills don't win yesterday.
James Cook's not going to make the Pro Bowl.
Okay, you can say that, but look at James Cook's statistics. Look at the way he has carried them in big games this year. Against the Chiefs, who scored the opening 2 touchdowns for the Bills? James Cook. Against the Patriots, I think it was their only 2 touchdowns, or somebody else catch one as well through Josh Allen. Like, he has been an elite running back this year, both in the receiving game and as a rusher, but he doesn't get the credit because he doesn't have the name value.
And
just saying.
Bills Mafia does love themselves from James Cook. They've wrapped their arms around him this season for sure. But hey, Lamar's win over the Steelers, it's a marquee win. That's a win that matters a lot. In an isolated window, it's a shame it came in the middle of I guess it wasn't an isolated window because you had college football going on at the same time. But that's a statement win against a rival who might jump them over the Steelers in the division, because I believe the Steelers play the Chiefs before the end of they play the Chiefs on Christmas Day.
I do have one question before we go to break, because we're going to have to get on the get around, because we got to address what Shannon Sharpe did to Kirk Herbstreit. I do have some hefty thoughts on that. Who's the MVP right now in the NFL? To you.
To me. Are you talking to our listeners or to me?
To you. You, C-Cat. Who's your MVP right now?
Right now, if you were to make me vote for MVP, I would have to place my selection on Josh Allen. I think I still would. I would still go Josh Allen.
Okay. It's your preference. Just telling you. The guy that he has lesser stats than, also who they played each other, and I think that score was 35-10 in favor of Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think he has a stronger case. I think Lamar Jackson has a much stronger case now than Josh Allen, both statistically and even record-wise, though the Bills have 2 up on the Ravens, is because the only way I would have really given in and gave it to Josh Allen is if the Bills were able to go and secure that 1 seed. But they're not even getting the 1 seed. They got the same route to the Lombardi Trophy as the Ravens this year. So it's just not enough separation there. Lamar's been better. It's just the truth. On the other side, we have the get around plus. Why are y'all so inclined to appreciate swords? Like, dudes and swords. I don't get the relationship, but Joe Burrow, he proved that it actually is something real. On the other side, we address it. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tune in for Unsportsmanlike.
All the drama.
It's the show that proves mornings don't have to be productive.
Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, everybody. Weekday mornings on ESPN 106.3.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like uh-oh than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions with crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Celebrate the most wonderful time of the year at the Gardens Mall. Santa is here for photos during all mall hours now through Christmas Eve. Reserve your spot at whereissanta.com. The Kids Corner Holiday Shop in Nordstrom Court is now open. Kids can pick out gifts for their favorite people with help from Santa's special helpers. Plus, enjoy festive decorations and holiday events throughout the mall. The Gardens Mall, just 1 mile east of I-95 on PGA Boulevard. Join us this holiday season and make magical memories with the whole family.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
The all-new 2025 Range Rover Evoque is here, and it's ready to elevate your drive.
Lease the Evoque for just $619 a month for 36 months with $59.95 due at signing. Or finance at 3.9% APR for 60 months. Experience luxury, technology, and performance like never before. Don't miss this exclusive offer available for well-qualified buyers and lessees. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today. But hurry, this offer ends January 2nd, 2025.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Come on, Mufasa. Let's get in some trouble.
This holiday season, destiny awaits you. You can grab your friends and experience Mufasa the Lion King in 3D.
Everything the light touches belongs to me.
You'll have to take it. Don't miss the perfect family Christmas movie.
Knowing swimmingly, if I say so myself.
Disney's Mufasa the Lion King.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Now playing only in theaters. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Tickets on sale now.
Guys, you're special today at Unlimited Auto Wash. Monday is Men's Day, and you save up to $5 off any wash at any of their 7 Palm Beach County locations. Check out the daily specials and find your location by visiting UnlimitedAutoWashClub.com.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Finished with holiday decorations and need affordable gifts for everyone? Advanced Discount South Florida Fair tickets are filled with fun and make great gifts.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17th in West Palm Beach.
Holiday season at Duffy's Sports Grill means holiday features galore. Savor Duffy's limited time holiday menu with new crab stuffed mushrooms, seafood pasta, salmon Oscar, and mahi Oscar. Plus, famous holiday drinks like Jack Apple New Fashioned and a peppermint martini. Now, through New Year's Eve, score a $20 MVP bonus for every $100 in Duffy's gift cards you purchase. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
I promise y'all I like Josh Allen. I actually am a fan of his work. I think he's a fun quarterback to watch. He's a good quarterback, too. Matter of fact, he's a great quarterback. He just ain't the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just an honest guy. I look at the facts, and the facts is the facts. He has not had an MVP season, and I look at another guy, and I know y'all have fatigue over giving Lamar Jackson the MVP year after year, but he just deserves it more. And Josh Allen had a chance to prove it on the field against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens back when the Ravens defense was porous. That was a bad Ravens defense he faced. He only put up 10 points. That's embarrassing. Like Jalen said in the chat, Josh Allen looking like Brock Purdy against that Ravens defense back when they weren't even good. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not – I tell the truth. I tell the truth. Another organization that is truthful with you, they're honest, they're reliable, they're always on time, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. Go online right now, EDSIsYes.com. Book an appointment around your schedule and do so because they have a track record of excellence. Like, this ain't something like, like I just found out about it yesterday. They've been actually serving Palm Beach County and the greater area since 2006, keeping you cool, keeping me cool. I have EDS in my home, and that's why it stays cool, stays chill. If I want it to be, I turn that thermostat, and I know that AC unit is going to work properly. And when it doesn't, in the very few cases it hasn't, and it hasn't at all since they gave me a new AC unit back in May. That thing there is working pristine. But beforehand, I just call EDS up or go online, edsisyes.com. Schedule an appointment. Technicians are going to be there for you. They understand how detrimental an AC unit going out can be for you. That's why they have 24/7 support right there online, edsisyes.com. They also handle plumbing needs as well, so tap in, edsisyes.com, edsisyes.com. That's the place to go. C-Cat, let's hop on this here get around, man. I know I've been talking too much Josh Allen today. I want to hop on a get around and have a good time.
I get around. What you mean you don't know? Round and round. Check it go. I get around.
The get around is how we hit all the hottest topics across the nation here on Theoretically Speaking. Where are we going first, C-Cat?
Next stop.
Going to Bristol, Connecticut, where trouble is brewing. So much trouble, it's the only stop of today's get around. You might have heard on the broadcast on Saturday night after Ohio State beat up on Tennessee. Kirk Herbstreit had this to say about, his colleagues.
God forbid they lose to Oregon. They may want to fire him again.
But that's not reality. I mean, that's the thing. When you hear pundits on this network and other places talk about that with certainty, it's nonsense, frankly. I mean, the public doesn't pull the trigger and get rid of the coach.
No.
The administrators do, and they're behind them.
Yeah. First Take tried to fire him. They thought he was done. So I'll be excited to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance.
C-Cat, what did First Take have to say on Monday? I mean, sure, they were nice to their guy, Kirk, who's a friend.
It was Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler criticizing people for wanting to fire Coach Ryan Day from Ohio State. And Shannon Sharp had this to say.
Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game. But, hey, if we're going to be on the same team, if we're going to work for the same network, don't do that. Kirk, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're going to say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm going to say. So I'm going to let y'all slide today. I'm going to turn it over to D.O. before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me. Go ahead, D.O.
Damn. I got to follow?
Wait. Did I hear that right? She got...
If we did that, we'd get fired immediately. It's a threat.
Yeah, like
it's a threat. It's like don't talk trash about me or anything I'm a part of again. Or else.
Don't have a counterpoint to my take, which might be wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it is wrong, but Ryan Day in the Ohio State, they won the game. That is the most insane response. I mean, Shannon Sharp, what the hell are you doing? I mean, I got a lot of love for Onk. I think he was an elite football player. He knows ball to an extent. I don't know how much he knows the college football game. Kirk Herbstreit obviously has more of an inside track on that. But you would have thought Kirk was talking about Shannon Sharp mama.
I tell you what, the next time I go to Duffy's, I'm not inviting Shannon Sharp this time. He's not going to get the invite.
Shannon Sharp.
No.
I mean, 2-for-1 drinks. It's 2-for-1 drinks at Duffy's. If Shannon Sharp acting like that sober, I'll be nervous around him with some 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day at my nearest Duffy Sports Grill. That's the place you want to be, by the way. We're talking MVPs today. You can be an MVP right now today. Right now today. Go to Duffy'sMVP.com. Become a rewards member like me, like C-Cat. Track your rewards. And you're going to want to do so this holiday season because they have a whole new menu dedicated to the holiday season. We already had a lot of the gridiron options for football season. Now there's holiday options as well. Feel festive. Feel good. Get into the groove at Duffy Sports Grill, Duffy'sMVP.com. 80 or more televisions in every single location. It's the place to be. Great sports bar, but it's more than a sports bar. It's a place where you can eat, a little lunch, you can take it to go, you can cater an event you're having, Duffy'sMVP.com. At Duffy's, our game is always on. And that was the get around. As much as I love to support former athletes being super platformed and having these great takes, Shannon Sharp, bro, like he might be getting a big head doing that. That was kind of insane.
Oh yeah, you got to have a stern talking to. Like that is legitimately a problem.
He likely needs to be checked for that. And I don't want to say that as again. Don't say anything bad about Shannon Sharp. Actually, Shannon Sharp's perfect. Great dude. Go in love, go in peace.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery with only 2.